Hello, my name is Matilda and I coach mentality. So, when we understand that everything is indeed from mental plane and will come to our physical plane, we then understand the phenomena of many things that is presented to us. So, let's take an example here. When we got COVID presented to us by the news, social media. It was everywhere, right? It was this pandemic thing going on. But what was it really? We know it was presented, and it was not only presented as this is coming, but it was also uh, it was presented with some kind of description, right? To come with a description of this is the symptoms and this is how you get it. A very smart move, putting out like, oh, it comes from air. It's like no source being, you cannot, you don't have any source, right? Because it can come from everywhere. So it was indeed a little bit of mystery, right? So it was presented to us. We registered it. And then it was the symptoms. And then also with the time, it came all the restrictions and it comes like this is risk group 1, this is risk group 2, this is risk 3. Like all the people in the groups of what actually is the most, like this can be deadly for this person, this can be that for another one, and this can be this for the third one. So what happened there really? Because when we look at the symptoms in the beginning, it was like a flu or something. It was like yeah, this is the symptoms. You're gonna have like a flu. And the flu is a very, you know, what is that really? Flu, and then was fever, and then was, you know, lung failure, all this. So it was presented to us. It was like big warning signs. And it also had a very clear description of what it was, but not what it came from, but what it was. And it was also these groups of most danger revolving around. So if we look at these groups, risk groups of was like like in bigger risk of getting deadly results from this appearances of this virus or the presented seed. If we look at the people who actually died from it, it was probably these peoples of that group, right? But why? Why did we like, why did it, why did it come from air, and how did it become so huge? And this is also in mentality, when you see these things that you understand and you see very clearly that it was presented, and people who believed that it was a real thing was also the people who got it, right? So was it really a thing, or was it that the people who believed in it, feared it, got it, right? Because when I look at, this was many years ago now, But I actually worked, I did not live by my purpose of life, just a saying, but I did work at bars at this moment. So I did work at bars and I did work like 6 nights every week. So almost every day I worked at the bar. And I was at the bar with people having trouble with alcohol, right? They had the strong urge of drinking, so they didn't care what was going on. They wanted to drink, right? Be around people, talking, socialize. They didn't care about COVID. So, and I just, I was not like in this, I did not understand what I see today, but I did not take it very seriously because I didn't think so much about it. I just didn't. I was always there. We had restrictions working, with distance and all this. But that was the only issue. I didn't care so much about it. And then if we look at my father he works as a paramedic in the ambulance field. So he worked a lot during the COVID years, and he was around people with appearances of COVID, the virus, all the time. And my dad thought that this was really real because he saw it, every day on his work, and he was like there. But he did believe, so he thought it was real, but he did believe he was immune to the virus. He thought that he had this gene of that would be the immune of this COVID. And he thought that I was immune also. And I didn't. So he didn't get it, right? I didn't get it. He didn't get it. I didn't believe anything about it, really. I just didn't care about it. And my father, he cared about it, but he thought he was immune, meaning that in his mind he just set the record straight for himself. No, I'm not gonna get it. I was, in the other hand, just didn't weigh too much, so I didn't get it either. And my dad, he was around people with COVID all the time, and his wife and my half sister, they live in the same house. She's much younger. They got it, right? My dad did not get it because he believed that he was immune. And that is how strongly our like mind, how the seed is planted, the idea. Um, First the thought seed, the idea, and to mature product. And that is works with everything. So this is just a big example of how many people get affected of something that comes from, and you get sick by the air. Like if we just think about that for a moment, look at other things that is going on in our world, like how can it affect so many people by like a fire. It's going out 1 2 3 on social media, and it's like then everybody just hang along like a trend, a new thing, something's coming out, and then more and more people like getting along with it. And that is how powerful our mind is, meaning that it can be presented anything. And as soon as you believe that that is your reality, or you realize you give it the recognition of it, its actual thing can be like affecting you, that is the problem, and that is what's going to happen. Even if we think that we don't want it, but we attract it so much. We fill our thoughts with the same thing, and we use our feelings, whatever feelings. It's every feeling has two sides, right? So even if you feel fear and comfortable, it's the same feeling. It's the same place. You feel the same area of your body. It's just a matter of degrees different on the emotion. So you use your brain, you mix with the emotion, and you have the physical product. And this is when we understand how really powerful it is to aim our direction in the right places. We want to aim it on what we want to becoming. We just do not want to attract the opposite, or we don't want to like create traps for ourselves, right? It's very stupid. And everything that is presented, real. It's not real, but it can be very real if you make it your reality.